All right, I'll get started here. In regards for injuries, we don't have anything, no injuries to report. Andy did have an injured left hand on his non-throwing hand, something that we're looking into, so we'll keep an eye on that and see where that goes. But other than that, no injuries to report with our team. I think big picture, when you look at this game, obviously stating the obvious is the turnovers, having the four interceptions, the short fields, giving them the ball at the 28 to 15, the 12 and the 28 they came away with 3 touchdowns and a field goal from that. In the end, that's what it comes down to is those turnovers, the momentum and the short fields for them against that offense and that team. It's hard to overcome. I did think, offensively trying to get that, the run game going, the balance of run and pass, the fourth downs and being good in the red zone is all what you want. But in the end, none of that matters if you're giving them the ball, especially on short fields. So credit to them and their coaching staff. They've done a great job. And so with that, I'll go ahead and open up the questions.
How was Andy hurt? Was it on one of the interceptions?
I think it was on the second interception, on the return. Yeah, on the one from with Cole.
Matt, late in the game, we saw you had a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
It looked like you were talking to Andy directly.
I was. Yeah. So our headsets went out for basically the whole second half. So when we were backed up, it's like high school out there trying to yell the plays that you're getting from up top. We started doing that before we had the walkie-talkie. So when Bill's giving me the play, I got to yell it down to Andy and make sure he gets it. And then a couple series later, we got the walkie-talkie, which is clear for Andy. So I'm basically the conduit to Andy and Bill, and so that's what we did.
So basically, you could talk to Bill through your headset, but Andy had no communication with Bill. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. So I obviously have all the coaches online up in the upstairs. They can talk to me. Andy couldn't hear Bill. So Bill was calling the play. I had the walkie-talkie. So Bill was saying the play to me, and I was relaying it to Andy. So there's a whole little deal that goes on there in those moments. That's what the walkie-talkie saved us, because otherwise you're yelling plays like high school.
Were you giving them numbers for wristbands?
Yeah, we have some numbers that we use for wristbands in general, always, and for backup if those situations happen. At the same time, though, you still got to communicate those numbers, and it's loud, and there's different things going on.
Is Bill calling all the plays, or are you calling some, or how's that working?
Yeah, no. Bill's calling all the plays, and I have input on if there's situationally, if there's a feel or there's something, and that's been always. Nothing's changed from any other games. Today was a normal day. We had the headset go out, so literally it's just like going through a second half without a headset. So we got to be able to adjust and use the walkie-talkie, and that's where there's a communication between Bill, myself, and Andy.
That's the second straight week or whole that's happened with.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wish I did.
Matt, when you're playing a team as good as the Cardinals are, you got to be near flawless to win. So just how deflating are 4 picks like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at, okay, you go back and you say, okay, how are the picks happening? And that's what the guys are doing, right? I mean, the first one, we got man coverage, which is what we wanted on that play. And, and you saw what happened there. And the kid made a good play after the tip pass by our own player. The second one, okay, we got what we wanted. But in games like this with the elements, you guys can see it. I think Kyler was slipping. The ball was fumbling early in the game too. I think there was more weather in the first half than the second half, rain-wise. You know what I mean? It was slick in the first half. And then, you have the play action. The ball got tipped on the third pick, and then the fourth, and then you had the screen. So between all 4 of them, the order that they're in, throwing a pick on a screen, Andy will tell you those are, you don't want those, but it's not, you're just trying to float it and have touch over top of that. So no matter who you're playing, 4 turnovers is going to hurt you. Our guys know that, and they care, and we don't want that to happen, but it did, and so we got to regroup from that.
There's still 5 games left.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself, how do you keep the entire locker room invested and engaged?
Yeah, just continuing to make sure that, I think that's, Dan, where it goes back to who the people are that you have in the room. and making sure that they understand that it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated after a game. There's a lot of emotions. We all want to play better and coach better. They know that. But it is, in these times, you want to make sure that these guys are understanding that it's our job, it's our obligation to make sure that we give it everything we got, and that's, we can't worry about other teams. We can't worry about other people, players, coaches. We got to just worry about us and coach and play hard.
Your offensive star was David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
Yeah.
performance and what it meant to.
I thought it was great to get David going. That was an emphasis for us. We thought that being able to come in and get him going a little bit more this game via the run and the pass. He had some good targets. Andy did a good job of checking it down when we had him or throwing it to the flat. I thought he ran hard. David was motivated after the Detroit game. He wanted to be able to really get back, and he's hard on himself. But to have 21 carries and average 4.3 yards per rush, that was good for the offensive line. And again, it just what's tough is that you look back and you say, dang, man, you look at how at the end of the game, how things went, how the game went against this offense, and in general with the team, being able to have the time of possession, being able to be 3 for 3 in the red zone, 4 for 4 on fourth down. We just those turnovers got us, and this is the NFL, and when you play the best team in the NFL as of right now, record-wise, they'll make you pay, and that's a credit to them. So we gotta understand that.
Man, when you see you have turnovers, throwing errors, bad snaps, missed tackles, things like that, people slipping, I mean, how much of that do you excuse to the weather and the conditions?
Yeah.
How much of that is still a discipline issue that's ongoing?
No, I think today, just because you see it on both sides, I do think that weather was involved. But at the same point in time, our guys know that. They understand that. So you got to really look the football in. You got to be secure with what you do. And for us, like we just right now, we don't have room for error with that offensively. We got to be really good. We got to be sharp with our details. We got to be sharp with our execution. We had a big focus going on this week about being great in the red zone, not coming away with field goals, being good on third down in the red zone. So you have some plays like that occur, and it's you kind of go back to the start of the game on that very first pass. With the interception. So our guys understand that. Our guys, they know what's going on.
Andy's been the starter of the league for a decade.
Yeah.
Do you expect somebody with his experience to have a day where he throws 4 interceptions? I mean, if it were Justin, it seems like, it'd be a growing, experience for him. With Andy, I can't imagine he's been fooled very often.
No, I mean, one thing with Andy is Andy has done a great job in his career of being smart with the football. He's very smart. He knows where to go. He knows when to get the football out. There's no stat in the NFL for interceptions that occur that aren't on the quarterback, but there probably should be. And I think that every game's a little bit different, and Andy's going to be the hardest on himself. And there's different reasons why. Some guys throw 4 touchdowns, and it was a hell of a run by a wide receiver or tight end too. And the quarterbacks don't. They get credit for that. But when you ask that question, I think Andy understands that no matter what, he wants to be able to put us in good situations and positions. And he tried today. He tried to do that. And it's unfortunate that the turnovers happen. It's a part of football. But he continued to battle. He battled the entire game, and he was a leader with these guys. And he never stopped fighting. And you got to give him a lot of credit for that.
It was a 4th and 2 latter stages of the first half.
Yeah.
What was your thought process in deciding whether to punt or go for it?
Yeah, we tried to get them to jump off sides, and they did a good job of holding. But I knew going into that's what we were going to do. So you could say, yeah, go for it. And if you don't get it, then why did you go for it? You gave them a short field. We've been giving them the short field the whole half. Probably that's the biggest thing is if you don't get it, kick the ball to them, see what they can do. And they ended up doing nothing from it.
What do you like about the trick play when you put it in?
We've had that in a little bit, and that they played it well, and that was the secondary part of the play, throwing it to 17 down the sideline. So Andy did a great job because he had a guy right in his face, made him miss, and went right from his first progression to second progression, made a good throw, and so I give those guys credit for executing it.
Man, where do you get any confidence that you guys will be able to compete next week with Green Bay, for example, when all of the really good teams you've run up against this year have beaten you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just keep fighting. Let the guys know, man, we're in this thing together. So no matter who we're playing, whatever their record is, whoever they are, we know, again, Green Bay is another team, top of the league in record-wise. Unbelievable quarterback, and they're on a roll right now. So the only thing that we can do is keep fighting and sticking together. And I know it can sound old. I know it can sound monotonous. I got you. But when you're in these moments and you're in that locker room together and you're fighting together and everyone's practicing and you're in meetings together and then you go out in that field together, we're always going to give it everything that we got. That's all we can do, no matter who we're playing. And, it just so happens that they're up next, and they're a hell of a football team coming off a bye, and they'll be ready too.
Matt, you almost doubled the first downs that the Cardinals had, even though they had a lot of short fields.
Yeah.
You had more third down conversions, fourth down conversions. Can you look at that as a positive, even though you all lost?
No, because we lost. We don't care about that. I think that's the stuff is nice to have happen when you win. But these guys, all the players and coaches, it's just like last week. You win at the end on a field goal, and we won the game, and so you're able to coach off of that. When you lose, you got to look into the whys, and we understand that. I think there were some first downs going on. Defensively, they had some third downs successful plays at the start of the game. That touchdown pass at the end there, or at the beginning of the game. So the only thing that matters is winning and losing. That's how we all look at it. Okay.
Barring injury, will Tevin Jenkins remain purely for depth purposes throughout the rest of the season?
Most likely. I don't know that for sure because we're going to work through it. But, I think that for him, again, just getting him into the groove of just every rep he gets in practice, mentally, physically, just getting him up now on the active is good. It's depth. And we'll see, how these guys are doing. Again, I just go back to JP's been doing a good job there at left tackle. And I love Tevin's attitude. He's had a great attitude. He knows that he's improving each day. So we'll just kind of take it day by day and see. But in the end, I know we'll make the best decision for him and us.